Today I'm going to issue a rallying cry for Gen X. And the thought popped into my head after watching some videos from Gen X point of view, or POV, and I know he does watch some of my videos because he'll comment on some of the attire that I don in these videos. And Zeta Male Unscripted, or also known as Older and Struggling. Both men who are members of Gen X and quite popular on YouTube. So I watch both of them religiously, and I gain a lot of insight from both of them and draw a lot of comfort from watching their videos. But it wasn't only these two that I was watching today. As I normally do as I sit down to eat dinner, I will watch, a YouTube video or something just kind of, for me, light and just to pass the time, so I don't get anything that makes my stomach squishy when I'm watching the video, or something that's just too intellectually intense that I really have to invest a lot of mental energy in. So I was watching a Sheila E. video called The Glamorous Life. And it took me back to when I was 15 years old and would listen to her, and I would listen to Prince and all the pop music that I grew up with. And it made me realize how much I have changed, for bad as well as good, over the years. And how, in some ways, my younger self would not even recognize the person I have become today. So my rallying cry to Gen X: if you've forgotten yourself over the years, find a way, even albeit slowly, to be authentic, to find your real self. Just as I've been giving advice to people to go on the JET program, the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program, to stick with their Japanese language studies, my advice, or actually encouragement — you don't need my advice. You've made it this far in life. You're doing many things right that have gotten you to your mid to late 40s and somewhere in your 50s. And heck, even this year, the earliest members of Gen X have already turned 60. So anywhere from 45 to 60, you've done an excellent job getting you where you are. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a big hug. Give yourself that big slice of cake if you want to. Whatever. I know some of us have to watch our waistlines at this point, and it's really the battle of the bulge. So I don't know if there's going to be any history lesson on that battle of the bulge, but we know what's up and we know what we're facing. So give yourself a big pat on the back. So this is encouragement for you to go out there and to just set your heart on fire and to do whatever you want, accomplish whatever goals you want. Because as we all are aging, we realize that at some point, time's going to be up. The clock is going to stop ticking. Timeouts aren't going to stop it. The game's going to be over. So if there's that special trip you want to be taking, do it now. For me, I've been going back and forth between whether to add another language or not to my already long list of languages that I've dabbled in. And I was debating between Korean and German. Korean comes about because I'm very much into K-pop. German, well, I live in automotive country. I live in the center of the car industry. For some of you who can see the state on my hoodie that I'm wearing right now. So I toss that back and forth. So younger me would say go for the Korean because you lived in Japan. It's next to Japan. Sounds are similar. But right before I made this video, my older self reminded me and said, hey, remember in the 80s, actually Japan thought of itself as another Western country, albeit an Asian one. And so Japanese, naturally, at that time, would have looked towards more of the European languages than the other Asian languages. Now, with millennials and Gen Z in Japan, I can't really say. So I'm not going to even venture into that territory. That's going to be uncharted territory for me. That's a battle I'm not willing to fight. And I think if anything we've learned as Gen X and older is that you do carefully pick your battles, because it will waste your energy and, and scarce resources, dwindling resources that we have, at least energy resources that we have the older we get. So we must pick our battles wisely. We can't just spread ourselves thin as we could in our younger days. So I'm still tossing and turning with that, because emotionally I get pulled towards Korean. But the more practical side of me, and the one that I look to use right away, would be German. And actually, I do have some life experience with studying Portuguese over the past year. And although I can't say that I can speak it very well yet, I can kind of understand it when it's spoken. And so I know that even if I go and brush up on my Korean, it's not, from a technical point of view, I'm not going to be able to pick up the words as much, because we're not surrounded by Korean in our daily lives. But if it's German, yes, I'm not surrounded by German either, but I'm still surrounded by the European alphabet, and it'll be easier for me to pick those up, and especially with technical terms. So right now I'm thinking it's German, but I get scared because it's going against a carefully crafted identity that I've created for myself. A few artificially aware videos that I've watched on YouTube have also contributed to this, you could say, revelation, and to this thought process, and to this analysis of where to go from here. So that's where I stand with my languages. So that's kind of what I'm wrestling with and where I want my life to go. I'm in my mid-50s, and I know that the clock, whatever choice you make, yes, it can open doors, but it also closes doors. That means a choice forsaken. That means the positive parts of life are forsaken too. And I think most likely, if I knew more about German, if I knew more about how the positive stuff that might happen, then I think I'd be throwing myself all in on it. So I think what I need to do before I make any big choice with this is to invest a little bit more research into it, and do a little bit deeper of a dive, so to speak, before falling back on systems and thought processes that have not led me to where I want to be in life. So that's my personal journey for today. And the thing is, I wasn't even going to make a video. I was saying, oh, work so hard. I don't want to deal with it. I just can't. No, I think I just want to curl up under my covers. But it was Sheila E. that lit the fire under my you-know-what and got me off my duff so that I would actually sit down and make another video. The last 2 days I had been working in the office, so I said, the work, it's hard to drive home, and I've been working hard cranking it out for my boss, cranking it out for my company, so we can send the profits back to Japan. I work for a Japanese company, for those who haven't watched. So that's why I held off. But today and tomorrow I knew I was going to be home. And then we get to, TGIF Friday, so I'll definitely be on there. Probably will be cranking out some more videos this weekend because, it's going to be bad snowy weather here in Michigan. Was originally going to go to an anime convention in Ann Arbor. But gonna nix that plan. It's not worth it and all this. So Well, if you've made it this far, I really do appreciate it, and I thank you very much. Give yourself a big hug, hang in there, keep fighting, and keep making Gen X strong. Take care. Bye.